down the field. Happy tossing dimes, cup $1 million deal. Fantasy football, better know it's real. Tune into the podcast, tell us how you feel. We be going live, best believe we talk.
What's up, everybody? We are back. The boys from the Fantasy Football from Up North podcast. I'm Clayton, obviously, and joining me as always is Habby. Habby, it's been a while.
It has been a spell, buddy. We've been busy. I've been busy with the youngster got into lacrosse, and it's just eating up time like Pac-Man.
Oh yeah, nonstop. But we're back. We're going to training camp straight around the corner. We're going to get into some football talk now. We've been itching for a while. We were just camping on the weekend, and we should have just done one then at 3 o'clock in the morning.
We should have took the show on the road.
Yeah, exactly. Had everybody there. Could have had good combo.
Exactly.
So today we're just going to break down just some breakouts. We're going to do a quick, 25, 30-minute episode just of, some breakouts. Not necessarily the guys that everybody is talking about, just maybe guys, further down the list. There's a bunch of guys that I do like that are almost going undrafted, I would say, or just late round picks that you could be looking at moving forward. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Habby, who do you got? Who's your first breakout star of 2022?
At the quarterback position, I am going with Trevor Lawrence from the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, last year his coach let him down, and is the biggest thing coming for a rookie. I think the head coach and the coaching staff is one of the biggest helps you can get when you're a rookie, and they let him down. They bring in a guy like Doug Peterson as a head coach. He's a proven head coach, and I think this kid's going to flip the switch, and we're going to see the former number one overall selection come out of his shoes a little bit. Having the dynamic duo in the backfield is going to help him, and they bring in like a veteran like Christian Kirk. It's going to help him in the receiving core, and we're going to see this guy, I think, finally maybe get Jacksonville over 500 this year.
Well, exactly. Exactly that. It's numbers from last year, 3,600 yards, 12 touchdowns to 17 interceptions. Definitely not going to see from first round pick, but nonetheless, like you mentioned that you mentioned that, coaching kind of screwed him up a little bit. Now you got to go into now you got the additions of Christian Kirk. You got weapons. You got Travis Etienne coming back. He's got a whole whack. Laviska Shenault, he's supposed to break out this year as well. I do like Lawrence as a breakout this year. I do think. Where would you be ranking him as far as redraft goes? Are you ranking him in the top 20 or top 15? Where are you going?
I would say top 20, right around probably that 16, 17. I think that the help that he got around him is really going to help him this year. And like I said, I like their running game with Robinson and Etienne. And I think it'll help open things up in the secondary for Lawrence. Yeah,
I would agree with that. The next guy I have on my list actually is none other than Rondale Moore of the Arizona Cardinals. Like, coming in, this is his second season. Now, we just mentioned a guy that did go to Jacksonville with the departure of Christian Kirk. The thing with Arizona is, you got DeAndre Hopkins that's going to get suspended. You got Rondale Moore there. You got Zach Ertz there. James Conner, a couple of kind of no-name kind of back running backs. But now you look at a guy that like Rondale Moore, who's going to be running out of the slot most times. You got the addition of Marquise Brown. I think Moore's going to be a solid option for Murray. I think Murray's going to find him often with his speed and his burst. I think we're going to be looking at him as a potential, this guy. Let me try to find where he's being drafted. I want to say the 16th overall right now as far as ADP goes. Like, you're getting him in not 16th overall, 16th round. I mean, if you get that, you could get a guy that he could put up close to maybe 800 yards, maybe 6-7 touchdowns, and you're getting a guy like that in the 16th round.
Yeah, that'd be a steal if you get him that deep. Like, the questions I have are, who do you think he's coming from an offense that was obviously had Hopkins on the other side, and he was getting double teamed. Now he goes into an offense in Arizona where he is going to get more attention from the defenses, and especially because they don't have that elite receiver. I mean, Brown's not bad, but he's not elite, and I think they defenses will be all right just single covering him. But what do you think is going to happen more if he is he going to take like a Juju hit when Juju became the guy in Pittsburgh and then just sucked when he all of a sudden got double teamed every shit or play?
I don't think Moore is going to. I think Marquise Brown's the one that's going to take that coverage away, and then you still got AJ Green on the side as well. I do like the way he's going to work out of the slot, and I think with Kyler Murray and him have kind of had a little bit of a rapport last year. I do think that that's not going to be an issue, to be honest with you. I mean, he had over 400 yards, had a touchdown. And they even used him out of the backfield a few times, rushing another 75 plus yards on 18 attempts. So just look out for him. I mean, if you're drafting, if you're finding that this guy's dropping, to double digit rounds, I think there's no reason why you shouldn't scoop him up.
All right. Well, hopefully Brown is better than you think, because I think Brown could stumble and fall in Arizona.
I hope not. All right, who do you got? Who do you got next?
It's Rashad Bateman. Same situation. They lost Brown, their number one receiver, and now Bateman's going to take that step ahead. He's a bigger target that should help Jackson on his throws in the middle, and he likes to attack defenses. He's a much better route runner, I feel, than Brown. I think he's going to be a better option for Jackson in the long run. I mean, he's had a couple injuries. There were, I think, I would say he where would you take him now that he's the guy in Baltimore? Is he a top 20 guy for you?
For me, I can pick up my rankings here real quick. I don't think I have him that far up the list. I would go. The problem with that team in general is it's such a run heavy offense, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got Dobbins back, you got Lamar. They do have other receivers playing on the outside with him, but I don't know. I think Bateman is going to see the majority of the targets in this offense when they are thrown to him. I just don't know if it's going to be as much as, everybody would expect that he's going to see, you know what I mean? To be drafting him as high as he's going.
I was just looking at some of the numbers that Jackson had when he was on the field with Bateman versus when Bateman or they were not together. And it seemed like Jackson did throw more with Bateman in there, and they had better chemistry between the two than that he had when Bateman was all. And I think that's the reason that he was throwing more, is because he really trusted Bateman. And I think this year, even though they are to run first team, I think that if they ever get in trouble, that Bateman's going to be their go-to guy.
I currently have Bateman as my wide receiver 27 in PPR.
27.
Yeah, so probably a little bit lower on him than a lot of people, but yeah. But that's where I'm at. But you know what? As far as things go, I do like this. I do like how this offense is going to roll. I do think they're going to have to change things up a little bit, but I guess it's just a matter of time before that happens.
They need to throw. That. I mean,
yeah.
Jackson, his approach works in the regular season, but come playoffs, you have to be able to chuck the ball, because you're going up against teams, especially the Final Four, that can score points almost every single time they get the ball. And if you're trying to run the whole game, that's just not going to happen, right? Because the good defenses are also there in the Final Four, and they're going to stop the run, right? For sure.
Right. All right, another guy I'll talk about here is Cole Kmet of the Bears. I mean, if you look at his numbers from last year, you're probably like, what more how much more of a breakout does this guy need to do? If you looked at his numbers last year, he finished as tight end 21. Yet he finished inside the top 12 in targets, receptions, and yards. The only thing that really, hurt him as far as where his ranking was touchdowns, right? He had zero touchdowns last season, which is nuts to me. I mean, because really, if he had probably, four touchdowns, he would have been, in the top 15 for tight ends last year. So I'm expecting a huge jump in that production from Kmet with Justin Fields. I think they're going to be, unleashing, kind of giving Fields a little bit more of leash to let him kind of do his own thing. As far as, Bears don't have Allen Robinson anymore. They replaced him with Byron Pringle. They got rookie Velus Jones. Kmet's his target share in general looks like it's going to expand drastically. We saw as far as with Matt Nagy no longer around there, I see better numbers for Fields. I mean, if you're going to get better numbers for Fields, somebody's is going to have to step up in that passing game, and that's where I do see Kmet doing that. I do think he's going to be one of the top 2 receiving options in that offense, and definitely in the red zone as well.
Yeah. I liked Kmet last year. It's funny that we were talking about, you were just talking about Nagy, and I think when Nagy got hired, we were saying the same things. Like, I'm glad the old guy's out. Let's see what Nagy can do. Now, fast forward, I'm glad Nagy's out. Let's see what the new guy can do. I mean, it's really going to depend on how Fields takes that next step in his progression. Obviously, I don't think anybody was really happy with how he was last year, but I mean, he did show signs of being good. But like I said, if he can get that, if he can start throwing the ball like he could in college, then we're going to see this offense take another step with Mooney and Kmet, like being just growing with this guy. And Kmet's huge target, and he could be a red zone beast this year.
That's what I mean. So there's no doubt in my mind that he finishes. I do have him as my tight end 13 right now. So, and I could definitely by the start of the season, depending on what happens in training camp, I could definitely see him jumping up inside the, maybe 10 or 11 range.
Yeah, I agree.
So
he's one of those tight ends that, of that second tier, that huge drop off from the top guys. He could be right at the top potentially of that second tier. And I mean, you like to see some more of these young tight ends that are getting drafted by, or even going to good offenses. And you'd like to see more tight ends just put up better fantasy numbers, because it's really been a drag through the garbage the last few years.
Yeah,
other than a hand, literally like 5 or 6 guys.
Yeah, exactly. All right, give me another guy. A couple more guys here will do.
Okay. Well, I mean, one of the guys who sort of had a rough season last year, Jerry Jeudy. I think that he is going to take a big step forward this year, especially with the addition of Russell Wilson throwing him the ball. It's going to be the best passer he's had since he's been in the league. And even without Wilson last year and dealing with that ankle injury for most of the season, he still averaged 1.85 yards per route, and he has a skill set to lead that offense, I think, into the promised land, like they're hoping that Russell will take them.
See, I'm on the other end of this. I mean, you look at Russell Wilson. Of course, you're, the upgrade at quarterback. Obviously, all these pass catchers should do something, with Wilson. But my concern with Jeudy is the fact that he's done very little in the 2 years he's been in the league. To justify that being a
Drew Lock.
Yeah, I understand that, but he still hasn't done that. He hasn't played full seasons. He's been hurt. I think out of all these receivers, the one guy I do think that would break out, that has a potential to break out, and we talk about him usually every year in the waiver wire, is Tim Patrick. I think Tim Patrick's going to be a very nice addition for Russell Wilson. I can see Patrick finishing ahead of Jeudy in yards and targets this season.
The thing about Russ is that he likes. I mean, Jeudy he was a lot better when he moved back into the slot, and that was the position he played in college. And we know that Russ likes to pepper those slot guys. Doug Baldwin, that's where he made his money, was in the middle. And even Tyler Lockett is in the middle. And I think that Judy, if he plays the slot this year, he's going to get a lot of catches.
All right. Well, I guess we'll have to see. I do think Alberto, though, will take all those catches up in the middle of the field, but that's all right. Whatever you think. But, Alberto, tight end.
Oh, he's a blocking tight end.
He's their number one right now. He's not going to be blocking.
Yeah, but in college he didn't catch very much.
Well, we'll see. I'm not taking Judy anywhere.
Nowhere.
Not even in a single league will I have him. And if I do have him in one, now that I go back and look, I'm just going to trade him for, a football.
Why?
Just don't like him. I want guys that produce on a weekly basis, not a guy that's going to be a boomer bust guy, play 1 week, get hit, now he's sitting out for 2 weeks. Don't need guys like that. Those guys aren't on Clay's teams. Don't like anyone.
Albert, he was only targeted 40 times last season.
They had fun.
Doesn't throw the ball.
Oh, and what did you say?
Him.
Drew Lock. Lock.
He's terrible. Well, same argument for Judy. I mean, you can't tell me Judy is. I mean, when he was drafted, everybody was hyping him.
Okay, how about this? I can't justify drafting him where he is being drafted in.
Okay, let's make a wager.
What's that?
Let's make a wager.
What's the wager? Okay, do you think he is worth a 6th-round pick? Do you think that Judy is basically a top 30 wide receiver this year?
I think he's right around there, to tell you the truth, 25 to 30.
And I disagree. I do not think he justifies being picked in the, at the end of the 6th round as the 30th best wide receiver. I think he finishes outside the top 30.
See, I'd say more I would have him pegged around the 7th round myself.
All right. Well, then we don't have really anything to say.
Well, I'll still make a bet. Yeah, I make losing bets all the time, buddy.
We got to go through all these podcasts and figure out what bets we have made. Because
I think we only have one on the go right now. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Exactly. That's the problem. But hey, we're different. We're going to be organized podcasts this year. An organized podcast.
Yeah.
And put in
we're gonna hire some guy to type it out.
And put a full season in.
Yeah.
Another guy I'm going to go off the board with for a breakout is Tony Pollard of the Cowboys. With the fact that, they lost Amari Cooper, Cedric Wilson. We saw, I think Pollard's going to benefit the most in this, with these opportunities in the passing game. He did play a little bit, last season as a runner and a receiver. And the 3 seasons that Pollard has played, and this being his last on his rookie deal, I mean, he's increased his rushing yards, his rushing attempts, targets, catches, and total yards have all increased. I think the Cowboys do have a plan for him. Don't get me wrong, I do like Zeke. I just think that even with Zeke healthy, I still think Pollard is going to have plenty of opportunities in this offense to succeed. So
Zeke's going down, buddy. Down in a heap.
All right.
Pollard's taking over this backfield.
So you like him too?
I like him. And he's, way better in the passing game. I don't even think they're going to use Zeke in the passing game at all. This is a trick play.
I was looking at all these backup running backs, and we could see a season where there is a handful of backup running backs that are going to outproduce the lead backs in their offenses. We can start with Tony Pollard being one, AJ Dillon being another.
Yeah.
Right.
Some of these backfields, they're built for playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you want to get to the playoffs and you want to be the best you can be in the playoffs, I think the committee is the way to go. I think that if you there is some dynamic backs like Henry, McCaffrey, but these guys, you want them to get to the playoffs, or else it's all for naught,
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that. Give me one more guy, and I'll give you one more, and then we'll be out of here.
Okie dokie. Well, I'm gonna go back up to the quarterback position and pull Tua Tagovailoa out of the old hat.
All
He's
right.
He's got many new shiny toys there. He's got about 9 running backs that are gonna run the backfield there, and they're all like medium. Like some guys, Mostert, if he stays healthy, he's good. But they're all like sort of those guys. They all have question marks next to their names, and obviously he's got amazing receiving core in Tyreek Hill and Waddle, and also Gesicki. I mean, you can't forget about him. This year, he's got everything to make himself successful, and I think we're going to see it happen. I didn't like him last year. I haven't liked him, but I think with all these weapons that we see coming in around him, it's going to be. He needs to throw 5-yard outs to these guys and just watch.
I think if he doesn't get it done this year, it's game over for him.
Oh, he's done.
Because they haven't done anything they've done everything they possibly can for him.
But I don't think he's going to pull Baker Mayfield and just surrounded by talent and then just absolutely shit the bed.
It's going to be tough for that to happen. Especially you could be a bad quarterback with that talent and still look like you're you're the man. So the last one I got is I'm going to go a little bit crazy and go with Nico Collins of the Texans. I'm a little bit of a homer pick here.
That is crazy. That is homer.
Yeah. Rookie last year, he did finish second on the team with targets, receptions, receiving yards. I mean, really, how can you not? This team was trash last year. I mean,
you think he's going to be their number one this year?
No. Brandon Cooks is there, but I just think that I'm high on Davis Mills. It doesn't matter what anybody says about this kid. He was probably the second best rookie out of this draft class last year, as far as production went, and he's playing on a shitty team. Now this year they went out and got him, John Mechie in the second round, although he's coming off of ACL tear, so hopefully he's going to be, back at some point in the year. But as far as that goes, I like what they did in the backfield with Dameon Pierce, so they're kind of put together a running game. They also added Marlon Mack. I just do feel that Nico Collins is going to be one of those under the radar guys that if you do find to get him on your team, I think he's going to he could possibly win you a couple weeks, or at least give you double digit fantasy points per game.
Where do you got him on your rankings?
Deep, probably deep. Deep. I can look here. Sorry,
I'm interested to know.
Yeah, I will tell you in 1 second here. I might have to go deeper.
But he's a guy that you would draft, or just wait till after the draft and scoop in waiver wire on the waiver wire?
So right now I have him as my wide receiver 70.
Okay.
And so he might go in the last round.
Yeah,
last round probably.
Yeah.
But as far there's other guys too. I mean, I like way down there too. Joshua Palmer of the Chargers, all that stuff like that. But what I'm saying though is a guy like that, I can see him outperforming, his ADP for sure. And we could just be talking about him as a wide receiver 40 by the end of the year, 45 at the end of the year. Right. So just keep an eye out for guys like that.
They're going to need somebody to step up in that core.
Yep, exactly. So, all right, Habby. Well, that's just our quick little breakout show for this evening. So thank you again for listening, guys. And we will be back in a few more days. We're going to try to put out, 2 episodes a week till training camp and kind of go from there. So outside of that, guys, thanks again for listening. Thanks for sticking around, waiting around for us. And we'll talk soon. Peace.
Peace.